Hey everybody, it's Rochelle, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about your hesitation to reach out and invite people one-on-one. Now, I know where this is coming from because we've all had that weird person. I've actually had one person. Okay, I'll just tell you this. I was in a group and I was like interacting and stuff like that. And then someone, I think it was like someone asked if like in general, people in the group needed help with a certain thing. And so I was like, okay, yeah, I do need help with that. And so she said, okay, well, anyone who needs help, private message me and I won't pitch you and I'll just help you with it. And I messaged her, and immediately the very first message that she sent me was like a long ass thing with a pitch at the end. And I was like, what did I, and then you do that thing where you second guess yourself and you're like, did I like make that up, that promise that she made that she wouldn't pitch me? And it's, I didn't. It's just that some people are dumb, and she was one of those dumb people who was like, I'm here to serve and to help, and I won't pitch you, and then she does exactly that. So that kind of thing is bullshit, and we've all had that happen to us, and that was not my only time that I've had that happen to me. And of course we have those other people who are like, they say they want to help you, and then they say immediately, let's get on a call. Let's get on a call so that you can hire me. And then, on the call, they point out where all your problems are, and then they say, we can work on this with a package. And I can understand where that comes from, because, like in certain industries, that's how sales works. You say, okay, you and me, how do we help each other? How do we help each other? And that's how it goes. But you kind of need to read the people that you're trying to help. Are you in that kind of industry? Are you in, is it appropriate for you to do a cold call with somebody and immediately sell them something, or are you genuinely trying to establish a relationship with them? Okay, so I think you're going for the second one. Okay, so with that assumption, we're going to talk about your hesitation to reach out. Okay, so people don't talk about this, but if you follow along with people who have really successful launches, and you see it all everywhere, because they retarget you with their ads. So you see the Facebook ads, and then you see their posts in the group, and then you participate in their workshop, which leads into a pitch to buy that thing. So it's like launch, the promotion schedule, or open cart, or that kind of thing. And then the thing is that when you're first starting and you try it on for yourself and you get all the pieces together, and then it might not feel right because you don't get any sales, okay? Because there's more that goes on behind the scenes than what you actually see people doing. But the thing is that most of the time, the big sales, especially for like big ticket items, and big ticket meaning like more than 100, more than 200, okay? Usually that stuff ends up being done behind the scenes in private messages with the person speaking to you one-on-one. So I'm speaking from my own experience. I have invested in so many different coaches and so many different masterminds, and they have all been worth it in one way or another, regardless of what my opinion of that person or that mastermind was at the time. Everything is a learning experience. And every single time, pretty much, the coach or the person in charge reached out to me one-on-one and said, hey, are you still interested in this? It wasn't anything spammy. It wasn't just a, hey, I know that you could really use this in your business and let's hit those 6-figure marks. And, it wasn't like weird. It was just one human to another saying, that I have this thing. I have a feeling you're interested. Are you interested? And that's it. And then they get to tell you what they think. And, as the person who was signing up for it, I can tell you this. It never really felt spammy because they didn't intend for it to be spammy. They reached out like a normal human being, not with all this like pent up energy and expectation, but honestly just asking, are you interested in this? It'd be like if you owned a store and someone was like browsing and doing all this stuff and, like carrying a bunch of clothes, and you were like locking up because it's almost closing time, right? That's what a launch is. It's closing time. And then you see the person, standing there with their pile of clothes that they kind of want to buy, but they don't know if they want to buy it. And so you go up to them and you say, are you interested in buying those? I can try check you out right now. It's not offensive. They were already thinking it. They were holding the stuff. And then they can either say, yeah, let's do it. Or they can say, you know what, I changed my mind. And sorry about that. Can you put these, and then they hand it over to the employee to put them back in the right place. Okay? it's as simple as that, except that we build up so much in our heads about what that customer holding the pile of clothes is thinking about us. Okay. Maybe that might be related to your own judgment on other people. Like, do you think that people should honestly never be selling anything and shouldn't be making money? That might be coming through. But really, it's as simple as that. Someone who is inviting you to join their program is simply doing that. Just inviting you, checking to see if you are. And I can tell you right now that, like, for most of my programs, like all my group programs that I've run and closed and opened and closed, depending on the time bracket that we were going to be spending time together, most of the people were in there because I privately asked them if they wanted to join. And I don't think, like, if they were offended, then I don't think they would have signed up. You know what I mean? So if you are launching something and you see certain people, like, loving, your posts, or like attending all of your live videos and commenting on pretty much everything that you write, or giving you encouragement, or saying, oh, this is, such a wonderful idea, it doesn't hurt anyone for you to ask them if they're interested. And I can tell you right now that there are certain programs that I wanted to join myself, and I was sitting there like really scared, because I was like, technically I have the credit card balance to invest in this, but I don't know if it's going to be worth it. And then I, go back to their sales page and I read it and I reread it, and I just can't make up my mind. And I'm like, you know what? It's too expensive. I just can't. I guess I won't. And then they reach out to me and they say, are you interested in this? And I go, yes, I'm interested, but... And then I tell them what's going on. And I think everyone who's serving from like a good place in your heart, not to pounce. And you're not going to do that. And no one has ever done that with me for, prior to me like investing in their program. It was just a conversation. So just imagine that your ideal client is watching all of your stuff. They're watching you go live. They're watching all your videos. They're rewatching the courses that they bought from you like a year ago, because that happens. They're like picking it up and trying to relearn the stuff that they may have forgotten. Imagine that they're watching your launch and they're saying, oh, I want to do this. I don't know if I should do this, but I kind of want to do it. And I know that I could, and it wouldn't hurt me that much. Like I'd still be eating and feeding my family, that kind of, that kind of thing. If you reach out as a friend in a non-spammy way and you just say, hey, are you, would you like to join us in this mastermind, this program, this whatever, let them do the talking. And by that, I mean like the typing. Just let them lead the conversation and see what objections come up. And I'm not asking you to go in and read your scripts and say, okay, if they do this objection, then I'm going to tell them this. Oh, and if they object in this way, then I'm going to tell them this. Like, honestly, listen to them as a person and say that, like, you can acknowledge the pain that they're feeling, which is like the anxiety of making the decision. And then don't tell them what to do, but invite them and say, I would love to work with you. I think you have a lot of potential. I think that you are on the right track. And, here's the link if you are interested in joining us by 8 o'clock tonight, or whatever it is, and leave it at that. And like, as long as you say it with, authentically, you're not making it up and you're not pretending, then it's going to be fine. And they're going to feel that, and they're going to know that you have their best interest at heart. And, whether or not they join doesn't actually matter, because at least you put it out there, and at least they feel supported already. Even if they don't join, then they'll be like, oh, she actually kept track of me. So she must be actually pretty good at leading that mastermind if she can track all these people, right? So it's kind of like presenting yourself and the kind of leader, the kind of mentor that you would be for them, and then giving them that chance to say yes. Because you have to have them say yes and make the decision instead of you kind of pressuring them and just like chopping off all of their objections. Because we need those objections sometimes. We need to feel like secure in all the things that we're like juggling and weighing before we invest in something. And so, allow your people to make that decision, and try not to take that power away from them. You want them to feel like they made the right decision for themselves, for their financial budget, for their family, for their plans. You want to make sure that they're not like putting off an important family vacation just so that they can do your program because you were pressuring them, that kind of thing. So coming from someone who has been pitched one-on-one multiple times, it doesn't have to be spammy. It doesn't have to be awful, unless you are awful and you're not. So don't worry about it. And then coming from someone who has pitched other people multiple times for group programs especially, it's not as bad as you think. Okay, you're gonna be fine as long as you just approach it like a normal human being and you don't try to like really wrestle them into buying from you. Then you're gonna feel good, they're gonna feel good, and in the end, they say yes or no. And if they say no, then they're probably gonna buy from you the next round when it's more expensive, right? Okay, so that is my thought for you. I'd love to hear what you think about this, so I'd love to see a comment from you below on how it felt when you did your first one-on-one reach out. Okay, and if you've never reached out one-on-one to invite someone to join your group program, or to take you up on this brand new package or whatever it is, then share with me why you don't want to do it, and if this video has helped relieve that that worry inside of you that's keeping you from doing it anyway. Okay, so I want to hear from you, and thanks for watching. Bye.